Hi, I am 100 and I am gonna give you the best to worst mutation in Grow a Garden. Mutations aren't as linear as you think, so if you would like to know which mutations are only worth getting, you should watch till the end. But before that, I am a new Roblox YouTuber, so if you would like to support me and my journey into 1000 subscribers, you should like the video and subscribe right now. Anyways, let's get on with the video as I tell you which mutations you should have in your plants. Now, the worst mutation in the game is by far the wet mutation. It's a very common thing to get. However, there's this other mutation that's so much better than keeping it as a wet mutation. All it takes is to wait a couple minutes for this weather event to happen in order to make your plants 5 times better. But before that, the wet mutation can be obtained through a rainy weather event. It enhances the chances of the plant to get wet, which is almost guaranteed. But I wouldn't recommend selling your plant just yet because you can make more and more shekels. Now, on the 12th place, we have chilled. It's basically another version of wet giving a 2 times multiplier. It turns a 20k plant into a 40k shekels one. It can be acquired through the Blizzard event, allowing all the plants in your garden to have a higher chance in getting the chilled mutation. With it being one of the lowest value mutations, I wouldn't recommend selling it just yet, as there are other better options. Now, the next one on the list would be chocolate. Now, chocolate is only acquired through the chocolate sprinkler. It's one of the rarest sprinklers in the game, and it's only acquired through the Easter event. I would not recommend getting it if you're not trying to get all the mutations on a single fruit. Overall, I think it's one of the worst mutations, and it's worth skipping if you don't have the sprinkler itself. The 10th place would go to Moonlit Mutations. Despite it being a 2 times multiplier, Moonlit is great because of its capabilities to be offered to the Moon Owl, allowing you to have a chance to get the Moon Blossom. However, you should immediately collect any fruit with the Moonlit or Bloodlit if you plan to give it to the Moon Owl, because keeping both of these options would be not only worth it, but if you traded it with both of these mutations, you would only get 11 points if you traded in a Beanstalk. But if you traded a Beanstalk with only one of the two traits, you would get 7 points. This is basically a 3-point difference rather than submitting one of each. Moonlit is also not worth keeping for sell value because it only gives a 2 times multiplier. Now, for the top 9 spot, I would go with Plasma. Plasma is only acquired through an admin laser event, meaning that it's unobtainable through natural means. It's better off to sell your fruit if you don't plan on getting every single mutation. Rather than waiting for a whole week for Jandal to run the command again, it only gives 5 times multiplier. And there are other better options to choose from, one of which is the Bloodlit mutation. The Bloodlit mutation may have a less multiplier of 4 times, but I find it greater value because of its ability to be traded to the Moon Owl. It's a bit rarer, however, than the Moonlit event because it only has a 33% chance to come from the 1 hour moon events. I would say this is worth keeping if you plan to sell a high value fruit to give that extra million, or maybe if you need it for a billion. The next mutation would be Frozen, giving a 10 times multiplier. I would recommend getting this before selling any fruit, as it's really easy to get and it would only take you a max of 2 hours AFKing in the game. Paired up with spawned mutations, more on this later, would give you so much more shekels per fruit. You can get the frozen mutation from wet or chilled first and then mixing it with the other mutation, giving it an ice block look. However, you can't have wet, chilled, or frozen all at the same time, so it's better off waiting for your plant to get frozen before selling it. The next mutation might not be obtainable by everyone. It's the zombified mutation. It requires the chicken jockey from the one-time admin event, and the chicken jockey is not obtainable anymore, and only those who were present on the update launch got them. If anyone has a free chicken jockey that they can just slide a DM, that'd be great. Now, it gives a whopping 25 times multiplier that if you have the pet, I would recommend waiting for it to mutate your fruits before selling them. Now, the fifth spot is the disco mutation. The disco mutation is an admin run command by Jandal. It has only been run in the game once. It allowed fruits to have a juicy 125 multiplier. If you still have some disco fruits lying around, I would recommend keeping them until you get a dragonfly so that it turns into the secret mutation. I doubt though that Jandal would only run this command once, so just stay in the game and he's bound to do it again. In the fourth place, we have the Shock mutation. If there were another 100 times multiplier mutation, I would have placed this at dead last out of all of them. This is due to how rare the Thunderstorm event is. I recommend waiting up to 12 hours for them to get my fruits shocked. But I didn't realize that it would take over 12 hours of waiting, so to boost your chances of getting shocked on a specific plant, I would recommend lightning rods. Now, reaching our top three, these are must have mutations, and this one is Celestial. This mutation gives a whopping 125 times multiplier, and I find it easier to get than Shock. I would recommend pairing this up with Shocked anyways for high value fruits for a 225 times value. It's obtained from a meteor shower event that you could pair with star callers to direct meteors towards specific plants. Upon a direct hit with a meteor, the fruit would obtain a celestial mutation. And before we go to the best mutation in the game, you would have to have this on all your fruits: gold. Gold is the second best mutation in the game because it multiplies all of the other mutations by 25. If you had a 225 times multiplier from Shocked and Celestial, you would have around 5,625 times multiplier, allowing you to reach billions easily. I recommend keeping all of your gold fruits until you have Celestial and Shocked for this value, and the rest are negligible, but these two pairing up with gold would make your fruits worth so much more. You can boost your chances of getting gold on certain fruits with the dragonfly pet, but it's kind of hard to obtain. Now I have two in my account, but it was already hard as is to get. But something better than gold is the rainbow mutation. The rainbow mutation is a 100 times multiplier for all other traits. So that 225 celestial and shocked multiplier would become a whopping 10,900 multiplier. However, you can't stack up both the gold and rainbow on a fruit, so as their fruit spawns, they will only have one of these two mutations. But I would recommend investing in a dragonfly pet to get better chances on these mutations. Now that is all for the mutations in the game. But a bonus tip I would like to give you is to only sell when you have the following mutations. It's either gold or rainbow, shocked, and frozen. This would give you the most value of all your fruits, and that's all. Anyways, please like and subscribe as I would like to get that 1,000 subscriber goal this month. I will also try to be uploading every single day on Grow a Garden and other popular games on the platform. So if you would like to see more of those, then please subscribe. And who knows, I might give away one of my dragonflies too. And that is all. Goodbye.